giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Oh, yeah. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We stream live on YouTube. We on Facebook. And, of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Got a Friday boom. Welcome in, Cowboys Nation. Welcome in, Bomb Squad. Today is Cowboys Fan Friday. We got the mailbag segment popping. It's been a minute. Got about 5 or so questions from around the nation we'll get to. Plus, in the roundup, we hear from the queen, not our queen, but the queen, in my opinion, of ESPN football. And that's Mina Khan. She dropped a dope nugget about the Cowboys defense. We'll talk about that briefly. And I have my hot take of the week, which centers around a specific free agent, which y'all heard me talk about before, but we're going to bring it up again because it came up in our mailbag segment. So, what's good, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
How y'all feeling today? It's Friday. My camera seems to, want to be blinking or whatnot, but we're going to get through it one way or another, as my guy Law Nation would say. So if it flickers in and out, it's all good. We're still going to be here as long as y'all can hear me. That's kind of what matters the most. Definitely for those who are out there driving, for those who may be at work and can't keep me up, it's cool. As long as you can hear me, I'll let you know when you visibly need to see me or see a graphic per se. But other than that, man, we should be good to go. Shout out and congratulations to Victor Wemby out of France, who went number 1 overall to a fellow Texas State, San Antonio. So hopefully I get a chance to go catch him a few times next basketball season. He is everyone's calling him once in a lifetime or, generational or the next big thing or what have you since LeBron. But, I mean, you don't see too many 7'4" dudes that do that. So I'm going to definitely try to catch him if I can since I'm down here. What's the point, right? If you're going to be down here and seeing guys like that in this space. So I'm going to try to catch Victor. But salute to him and his family for going number 1. And salute to all those who were drafted yesterday in the NBA draft, right? All right. And I know there's probably a lot of Spurs fans. That's why I brought that up. We're in Texas, right? Cowboys, Spurs fans kind of tie together. So let's get to this roundup. Come up out of here. Oh, the phone lines are open, of course. It's Fan Friday. So y'all can call in 351-999-3787. Get in line and let's rap. And as we always do with the mailbag, it's not just me answering these questions. We answer these questions together. So if you want to, talk about said questions in the mailbag, feel free to call on in. It's Friday, man. It's about y'all. All right. Here we go. Let's do it.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Hey, yo. Miss Mina Kimes constantly just drops a bunch of nuggets and quality information on ESPN, whether it be with NFL Live or on her podcast, Omaha. She's a beast. She's good at what she does. She's one of the best in the business, in my opinion. And she's like one of the only people, it feels like, on ESPN that will shine the light on what is going right for the Dallas Cowboys in the specifics. Not talking about in totality, but numbers and whatnot, right? And she brings up the defense. She talks about the Cowboys' dime defense. And I'll actually let her explain it better than I could. So here's Mina Kimes on the Cowboys' dime.
One of my favorite things about this Cowboys defense, last year, I think they really hit on something with all the dime personnel they were using. They were in dime personnel, fourth most of any team. And when they did have 3 safeties on the field, they averaged negative .22 EPA per play, which is crazy. A QBR of 29. They were awesome. I just remember down the stretch seeing, Jaron Kearse in the box, Donovan Wilson, Mukuamu, like these players I hadn't heard of. I really think it gives them such unique flexibility from a coverage standpoint against some of these offenses that are going to come out throwing all over the yard.
I agree, Mina. We agree with you. Bow down to the queen. No, man, I did not. And obviously the regulars like us don't have access to specific, like the super specific information like they do. But I'm glad she's bringing that to us. And she did drop another visual under that showed the Cowboys played nickel and or dime, right? Like nickel and dime combined 95% of the time. Whoa. And only Kansas City, Tennessee, and the Patriots played more dime than the Cowboys. So we, as Cowboy fans, we were already familiar with them playing a bunch of nickel/big nickel because that's what Dan Quinn has kind of morphed into over the last few years. I did not know about the dime stat until Nina brought it to my attention. Look, base defense nowadays in the NFL is mostly nickel around the league. So when I say this number right here, it shouldn't come to a super surprise. But the Cowboys play in the least amount of base snaps in the league. Clearly, if you're playing 95% in nickel or dime, you ain't playing much in base. However, not many teams are playing traditional 4-3 or traditional 3-4 anymore due to offenses coming out in more 11 personnel, offenses using more of the pass game, which is why, in my opinion, nowadays, you have to classify wide receiver 3 as a starter. You have to classify slot corner as a starter. Teams go 3 deep at wide receiver now, which means you need like 4, right? You need to have another guy in case somebody goes down. So the Cowboys and Dan Quinn understands that. How do they combat it? We'll play more big nickel to deal with the run game, and we'll play more dime to deal with teams that want to throw the ball all over the field. And now, the mad scientist, I think, has his best interior since he's been here with the Cowboys going into year 3, right? So he has the best interior with a Jonathan Hankins, a Mozzie Smith, and now you got backups that can actually be backups as opposed to playing starter type minutes. That, I think, will allow him to get even freakier. Yeah. It will allow Dan Quinn to do even more unique things on the back end to confuse quarterbacks. And don't get it twisted, he's done a good job at doing that. I think when you see the quarterback rating of or QBR rating of 29 out of dime, it's not because they're just going into 6 DBs in a simple formation. No, they are confusing quarterbacks because of guys like Dono and guys like Mukuamu and guys like Jaron Kearse, who can do multiple things and cover multiple different types of players. And it confuses. I mean, it confused one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Tom Brady in the playoffs. I get, we can poo-poo and laugh at the Buccaneers not being the Buccaneers, but that's still Tom Brady over there. And Tom Brady was outclassed schematically. It wasn't always offensive line sucked on this player, that player. He was outclassed, out game plan, whatever you want to call it, by Dan Quinn in that defense. So going into year 3, add more pieces. Now you get a Gilmore, a Stephon Gilmore on the other side, and you got the interior of this defensive line that can push that pocket a little bit more. You got guys like Sam coming into year 2, Micah Parsons going into year 3. You still got vets like D. Law and Armstrong and Fowler. This defense, man, I could talk about the defense every single day because I think it's that good. I think Nina knows it's that good. And that package, that dime package, has the chance to get even better. Again, only 3 other teams played more dime than them: Kansas City, Tennessee, and the Patriots. And she also had a statistic that said of the top 10 teams that played the most dimes, 6 of them finished somewhere in the top in like EPA per play or DVOA or something like that. So essentially, nickel dime kind of the wave of the league now because of how teams are coming out, which kind of sees the league circling the wagons a little bit in the sense of, okay, you want to play more dime, you want to play more shell coverage, we'll run the ball a little bit more. Hence, you need the interior of the D-line to be a little bit better. And that's where the Cowboys got at early in the season, right? All right, play dime, play your big nickel, but you don't have guys up front that can handle us running at you consistently. Now we do. And with that, I say, good luck. Or is it buena suerte? Both of them. Both of them. All right. Let's see what y'all talking about here in the chat in regards to Miss One Mina Kimes. Yes, Tino. I'm glad they did not feature Chris Canty saying anything about the Cowboys. Former Cowboy still is, yeah, he does not like the Cowboys. And it is what it is. Brother L said, I just love that she's giving these burglar bars, or is it Brugler? Or burglar bars to Chris Canty. He's certified hater. Yeah, again, it's funny because if you go look at that tweet, mad people are saying some of the things that you're saying about, y'all are saying about Chris Canty. All right, let's get into the mailbag, though. Let's kind of move forward here. We got about 5 questions we'll get to in depth, plus my hot take. And then we can open up the phone lines to speak with you guys. So here we go.
It's time. It's time. It is time for
Mail time.
Mail's here.
You've got mail.
If you're not familiar with our mailbag segment, about a few times a month, we'll put out the mailbag graphic and say, hey, any questions you want to be featured on the show, whether it be from Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, drop it down there. We'll pick some of the good ones and we'll run them on the show, man. And of course, you guys in the chat and on the phone lines can participate as well. Let's get to the first one here by Zotan. Shout out to Zo110 here on YouTube. He says, who's getting an extension before training camp is finished? We've had brief conversations about this before. And for me, CeeDee Lamb feels like he would be the easiest one to get done, right? Because they've got that comfort zone to negotiate without a ton of pressure. And usually when that's the case, some guys get finished. We've seen it with the J. Lews. We've seen it with, who was it? Collins. We've seen it with Collins and a couple other people before them, where guys are up for a contract. Now, not this expensive, that they would sign prior to their deal running out, and almost 2 years prior, because they are able to hit that kind of that comfort zone like we talked about. But I don't know that Lamb's deal is the one they should really be focused on. It probably should be Trayvon Diggs. You know, he's the one they probably should be gunning for, because I think he's going to be the toughest one. You know, given his resume with 2 All-Pro seasons or 2 Pro Bowl seasons, All-Pro season, leading the league in interceptions since he's came into the league, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of wild to think because his rookie year, he still was figuring things out. All right. And he's likely going to want to reset that market. So I think it should be Trayvon Diggs, but CeeDee Lamb's will be much easier. But I've told you guys before, I think my dark horse here, and I don't even know if they're having discussions or not. I just think it makes a lot of sense here. My dark horse is Terrence Steele. I just think that he has all the makings of getting an extension done because he doesn't have that much damn leverage for real. That's pretty much what that is. You know, he's coming off of the injury, right? He's likely down in the pecking order. The position he plays. All those things actually make it easier to get done, in my opinion. But he'll also be the least expensive of the 3. So if I'm Dallas, I'm trying to get Terrence done. Now, shout out to my guy Vach. He brought up a fantastic question. And you know what? I don't want to get this wrong. Let me go to Vach's Twitter real quick. I don't want to get this question wrong. Here we are pivoting for a quick second here. He said if Matt Waletzko has a ridiculously good camp. Now, this is more about Tyler Smith at left guard, but nonetheless, if Matt Waletzko has a ridiculous good camp and he looks like a starter, forgot about that part. Do you leave Tyler at left guard, and then he says future left tackle, or save money on Steele and put Waletzko at future right tackle? That is interesting because that could then change all of this, right? Like if Waletzko quite literally makes a starter jump, that would be impressive. I mean, those are things you're rooting for, right? You want to see Matt. You want to have that problem. So I do think that would change this conversation from a Terrence Steele standpoint. If Waletzko looks like, hey man, this is our starter of the future, whether it be left tackle, right tackle, but specifically speaking here, right tackle, right? This looks like our right tackle of the future. I could see Terrence Steele being a guy they say, appreciate your services here. Go get paid. We'll collect our 3rd round pick compensation for 2025. I could see it. Me? I'm signing him. I'm signing Cuzzo, man. He's proven it to me. And his arrow is pointing way up. Super athletic. Plays with a nasty streak, mean streak. One of the best run blocking dudes in the league. You know, well, let's go. You could bank on that to try to save money, and that's kind of what they do in regards to drafting guys. But I'm trying to keep all my best players. And I get it ain't realistic to a point, but I'm trying to keep all my best players. And I think he's going to be one of the best right tackles in this league, if not by next year, fairly shortly. So I think Terrence Steele should be the guy that gets finished before camp, or Trayvon Diggs gets finished before camp, and Terrence Steele is the sleeper. Zotan. Hope I answered that question. Let's hit the phone lines, man. We got my guest on the phone. I can't help myself, man. I can't help myself. What's good, man? Happy Friday.
Hey, man. Hey, whatever works for you, brother. It's better to be known than unknown, some kind of way.
or as Law would say, there's some known unknowns that unknown to know. Nah, go ahead, bro. What's good, Marcus? What you got?
Okay, boss. Okay. Hey, that's a nice idea with you bringing up with Terrence Steele and Waletzko. My whole thing is I'm with you, man. A bird in the hand. You got Steele, you got the leverage, and you need to sign him. He's a good player, very good player. He turned into one.
Yeah.
Keep him.
Yeah.
My thought on Waletzko, you know, if there's all this buzz around him, and they did like him last year when they drafted him before he got hurt.
They did.
If he turns out into anything, man, that's buying you some time to hopefully get over Tyler Smith. There's still a love affair with the organization. And we all know, as much as we love him, nobody wants Tyron to be on the field more than me, but we all know that's not gonna happen.
I think, Marcus, isn't that done? Don't you think he'll be done after this year?
That would be, that I would hope. I would hope that, and that's my point with this. If Waletzko shows you anything, you got your tackle, you got your left tackle in the wheel, and you can do. Well, Tyler Smith's a left side player. He's proven he can play either position over there. I would prefer Tyler to be guard because he's a road grader. He can play tackle, and he's probably going to be all pro at tackle. He's shown that. But I think Tyler Smith, he could be approaching Mary Allen level at a guard because he's a road grader. He's a small. He messes people up.
Who are you talking about,
and
Steele?
I would love to put some. Yeah, I mean Tyler Smith.
Oh, Tyler Smith. Gotcha.
Yeah, Tyler Smith. If Tyler Smith can play guard, he can play both sides. He can play both positions on that left to me. But if you can get him at guard because you find a guy that can play tackle, man, hey. Well, yeah. I would love that.
I know. And that's kind of what I think where Vach was going with this. This was more of a Tyler Smith conversation. But I'm still of the thought process with Tyler. Put him on the left side. I don't care where he plays. I think he'll be a fantastic player because he's got the skills and he's got the mentality to do it. However, for 2023, I still do believe if you put him at guard with Tyron at left tackle until he goes down, that's your best bet. And I think that's your best chance to have a good offensive line, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, the whole thing with me with that was, again, if Waletzko shows you anything in training camp, hey, you can probably invest in him being your tackle over there.
Yeah.
And you can work something out with him and Tyler, get reps. And I imagine he'll get reps because unfortunately Tyler's not going to be there for the long haul. And the other thing, Mina Kimes, I love Mina Kimes over there. Her and Swagoo, they kind of the only somebody over there at ESPN give the Cowboys any love regularly.
Facts.
So and she's really not telling us anything like you say. We as fans, we don't know. We know this. We know this about them. And for me, I think I've said it to you maybe a couple of times in other spots. Hey man, it's really not about the quote unquote position. It's about the job. Who can do the job? Dono is we talk about base defense because a lot of us, remember what defenses used to look like 10 years ago. It used to be a baseline. Used to have 3 linebackers.
Yeah, it was so traditional. Yeah.
We're used to that. But again, it's not the position, it's the job. And Dono has always been the strong side linebacker. Again, it's no accident that Dan Quinn banged on the table to have him re-sign Dono. Not everybody can do what you list him as a safety, but he's always around the line of scrimmage and he's cracking people. And so if you see that as an offensive coordinator and a quarterback, you see safety over there, you think white box, and you think we can run on this, and you can.
And then in the past game, game, Marcus, they'll blitz his ass, and he's been one of the best in 2020 and in 2022 when they've blitzed him. I think he's got something like 8 or 9 sacks. That's crazy for a safety. And he's kind of our now current version of Jamal Adams. Where Jamal Adams is basically a blitz and safety type dude, play the run and whatnot. But yeah, so Dono, and I think I said this when we were doing the safety room, right? J-Ron Curse is regarded as a super versatile guy, but I think Donovan Wilson has earned the right to be called that, or be called one of your most versatile players as well, because Donovan Wilson can play around the box, he can blitz, and he plays a lot of snaps on the back end too in coverage. So yeah, he's one of my favorite players on the team.
Yeah. Again, that's just again, I like the fact that we got kind of a modern, updated coaching staff, at least on the defensive side, that play in the game the way the league is playing it offensively. And we'll get a chance to see if they've made that kind of maturation and moved into that direction offensively too. But hey man, you got a lot to do this morning. I'm not gonna keep you. I thank you for taking my call as always. Have yourself a great weekend, my friend.
Appreciate you, Marcus, or should I say Marcus?
Hey man, that make me wish the Kid was still here.
Hey, enjoy your weekend, bro. Enjoy your weekend, man.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff as always from my guy Marcus, man. All right, let's get back to the mailbag. Let's get to our second question, which comes from, is this toxic? I just noticed this. Is this you? YouTube has got really weird with the names now. Apparently, I don't know what names they're using with the app, but it used to just be whatever your YouTube name was. So now that's not the thing anymore. Okay, it is you. All right, I was so confused. Hostile Toxic Tom Downey, burner account 646972189. No, I'm just playing. Toxic asked this question: is it time to be worried about J. Lou's future with this team? I think we could break this down into 2 things here. Because if you'd have said immediate future, I would say, me personally, I'm not ready to go there just yet. Not until we get through training camp or get to training camp and we can see where he's at physically, right? Because one of the things I wasn't aware of until 2 weeks ago when he came out and said what he said about his foot and the doctors and whatnot, it wasn't even a question to me. I'm not getting rid of quality depth. Like, it's not happening. But now that he has a foot issue, maybe we'll see when he gets to training camp. That is something that I have to put on hold, TBD. However, his immediate future until we get to camp is not what I'm worried about. But when you're talking about beyond this year, which that's kind of what I think of when I think of future. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't even know if worry's the word, because I don't even think he has a future beyond this season. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Diggs and Bland are your future of this team at cornerback, in my opinion, as we speak. They drafted Eric Scott, right? And they shown no qualms about drafting cornerback. You know, they took Diggs, and the very next year they took Boss Man. Then the very next year they took, was it the same year actually? Israel McQuamo in that draft, moved him safety though. And then 2023 they take Eric Scott. So they don't have any drawbacks to taking cornerback to try to replace some of these veterans. So I don't think there is a future for Jordan Lewis beyond this season. I was 10 toes down on him being here in 2023, but with the now kind of new information about his foot, I got to wait and see. I got to wait and see if he is actually physically good to go. If he's physically good to go, again, I'll keep saying this because I don't understand people that want to get rid of quality depth in a Super Bowl type of run year. We just witnessed the team go through injuries at the position. When you're all in, and this is the version of all in for the Cowboys, you shouldn't be all in the business of getting rid of quality depth for picks, because you ain't getting, I mean, you're not trading Jordan Lewis for a starter, are you? You're not, you know, if you could say, hey, Scott, I could trade Jordan Lewis and get me the best swing tackle in the league, that's a conversation we could talk about. Hey, Scott, I could trade Jordan Lewis and get me a bona fide, you know, RB2 or something like that. Well, whatever. You're trading Jordan Lewis for like a 5th or 6th round pick in 2023 or 2024, or I'm sorry, 2024 or 2025. Nah, I'm good, bro. I would much rather keep him on the team for depth. And if his number needs to be called, I know he can go in there and your defense can still hold it down. So worried about his future beyond this year? Absolutely. I don't think he has one. Worried about his future now, his immediate future? TBD. How's he feeling? Toxic said he's more worried about can he contribute right now. His contribution might have to be as a depth guy. That's the thing. That's the thing. If I had to be honest, I don't even think this is crazy to say. Deron Bland, it's his job to lose. So it's Deron Bland, it's Diggs, it's Gilmore for me as the top 3 cornerbacks on this team. So I don't really see where he could, unless he could just go stupid and camp over Deron Bland. But even then, I don't think I'll do it. So I don't think he's going to have an impact in that manner. Where his impact may be felt, unless somebody gets hurt, is in the locker room, in the practice field, as a depth guy. Somebody gets dinged up out there. They need a breather. We go dime, and we want to include Jordan Lewis. Maybe you use Jay Lou as a chess piece. But man, I think he's a great piece to have in your pocket as quality depth. It's kind of where I'm at with it. I agree with that, Lemitra, 100%. Caustic says the potential lingering injury for Jay Lou, coupled with the significant cap savings, it ain't significant, for cutting him, might be his death knell. Yeah, there's no significant cap savings. It's like $4 million. The Cowboys have 20-something million dollars right now. So if you're cutting Jay Lou, in my opinion, it will have nothing to do with cap. It'll have everything to do with, we don't believe he can give us anything this year, or we believe he's hindered to the point where we'd much rather Eric Scott get his snaps, or Miles Brooks, or Izzy's here. So Izzy's going to be here as a safety in general. But I personally don't believe they are cutting him. It's not. You know, it's actually 4 and some change, but it's not significant. If you were cap struck, if you were down to $1 million and you needed some money to go out and sign other people, yeah, you need that $5 million. You can quote unquote call it significant. When you're sitting at $23 million in cap space, you can quite literally do whatever you want. Jordan Lewis adding $4 more million to the cap of 2023 does nothing for you. Like, I don't think people understand that, or you in general. Like, that does nothing for you. What are you using that for? If you say, well, to extend somebody, you don't need it to extend anybody. You can extend that player. You know what I'm saying? So it'll 100% be because he ain't ready. He ain't healthy enough. He can't contribute. But in 2023, 2024, when cap is going through the roof, $4 or $5 million is not something that is looked at as significant to the point where it's going to help you do something you can't already do. They can do whatever they want to do right now from a cap standpoint. Let's hit Facebook for a second. John, and I apologize if I'm messing your name up here, Rochefort says, what are the chances Dallas signs kicker Robbie Gould, he means Gold, not God, or Ryan Suckup? Dallas needs a decent kicker. We talked about this briefly with Pat Walker the other day. They've only got Vizcaíno on the team. However, we know that they will be looking to sign a kicker. And that brings me kind of to my hot take, powered by one Hattie B's Hot Chicken. No conversation about the best Nashville-style hot chicken is complete without a serious mention of Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Founded in 2012 in Nashville, they have now brought that flavor here to Dallas, downtown, Deep Ellum, with a bunch of different varying levels of heat, from mild, medium, hot, to damn hot, to the Daredevil's dream. Shut the cluck up. So check them out down at Deep Ellum, or hit them up online, hattiebees.com. Use the code in the description. There's a link right there. Sign up for free. You get $10 as a gift card. Free. Never say no to free money. So if you got a Hattie B's in your area or you're in Dallas, make sure you do that for your boy. So with that said, that brings me to kind of my hot take, which again, I kind of had to go a little bit further. I've already said that the Cowboys should be interested and invested in trying to pick up the phone, whatever you want to call it, bring him in for a cup of coffee, Robbie Gould. But now I'm going to stamp it here. The Dallas Cowboys will sign kicker Robbie Gould. Special teams coach John Fossil has already brought up Robbie Gould, he by name, and Suckup for that matter. And Jerry Jones also brought up not Robbie Gould's name, but he talked about bringing in a veteran kicker. He also joked a little bit about the yips. This is Jerry Jones.
Jerry, what do you do at kicker?
We get one that's more likely to have the yipes, and yips, whatever. No, we'll be looking at more of a veteran kicker.
The yipes, yips is crazy. What better dude that's available right now that you don't have to worry about the yipes, yips than Robbie Gould, Cowboys Nation? I'm going to be short and brief with this one. Robbie Gould has been gold, pun intended, in the playoffs. Hasn't missed once. Well, Scott, he don't got a big leg. I get it. He doesn't. Not a big leg guy. Only attempted 2 50-yard field goals last year. Made them both. But he's also one of the most accurate kickers of all time, ranking 8th in the National Football League history. So if there's a guy that you don't want to worry about getting to the playoffs and having the yipes, the yips, the yeeps, it's Robbie Gould. All right, cool. You could bring back a Brett Maher. He only had one bad game, Scott. Fair. I'm just more worried about when kickers do have the yipes, yips, yeeps, when they lose it mentally. I'm worried about that. I've watched some of the best ones that happened to them. And when you miss 5 out of 6 extra points in the playoffs that way, that's the biggest moments, right? We often scoff at regular season statistics with other players and then get on them for the postseason performances. While when you miss 5 out of 6 field goals in the playoffs, the way that the way that Brett Maher did, I'm willing to look around first before I circle back to Brett Maher. So it's kind of where I'm at with it. Pretty simple. Sign Robbie Gould and let's go, man. 806, what it is, what it do?
Hey, Scott Walker, how's it going?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Pretty good, man. This is Rudy from the Panhandle up in Amarillo, man. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with it.
I'm not familiar with Amarillo, but I've heard of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, man, I just wanted to give my thoughts on, just the season in general. I think it's safe to say, going into this year that we're a better team than we were, going into last year for sure with some of these key acquisitions, such as Cooks and Gilmore and whatnot. I think I think we're going to be a pretty good team this year. I'm
Yeah.
expecting anywhere from double-digit wins for sure, 10, 12. We'll be right back in the thick of things, with I'm assuming probably the Eagles, the 49ers, teams like that. So, I'm expecting a pretty tough year, but I'm excited, man. I'm ready. I'm geared up. I think I've been listening to some of these interviews and stuff, and it's just getting me pumped up, man.
Yeah, Dak spoke with I forget who it was. It was John Machota and some other reporters, and he talked about building, and that's something that I agree with him on. It's been a while since the Cowboys can legitimately say they have positive building blocks from a overall standpoint to build on. I mean, quite literally, haven't had back-to-back playoff seasons since 90-something, which is wild to think about, by the way. So when it's not like the Cowboys were building off of success the previous years over the last 20 years. They haven't. So that is something to look at and say, all right, yes, we did not get it done in a divisional round, but we went from an abysmal 2020, bounced back, dealt with adversity, got to the playoffs, home game, by the way, didn't win. 2022, bounced back, dealt with some adversity, won the playoff game, lost to that same team. Now we're in year 3 trying to build off of that. I don't think it's out of the equation to think they can actually go further than they did last year.
Yeah, man, I don't think so either. I think when you look at it that way, it's like we're coming off of 2 pretty good regular seasons, right? Back-to-back 12-win seasons. You got to the playoffs both years. It's like, my questions are, it's like, what are we going to do once we're in the playoffs? Like, as I've heard you say in the past, can we finish? I know that's a big thing.
That's the thing, bro. That's honestly, that's all I'm really quite literally worried about when it comes to this team in general. We just got to finish. We got all the pieces. I personally think now the coaching is in place, and that's something that I've constantly criticized this front office for, is not hiring the right people from top to bottom. Because if you look around at most Super Bowl teams, when it comes to general managers and coaching, they have a big say in what's going on with the squad, but that's neither here nor there. I think the coaching is in place. I think the talent is in place. Now it's going to be up to all of those guys to kind of finish when it gets down to the nitty-gritty in the playoffs and regular season, right? Because you got to build that confidence that you can finish in the regular season. So when you get to the postseason, it's like, hey, it's no big deal. We've been here before.
Yeah, for sure, man. And boy, do we have a gauntlet of a schedule, but I think that's just gonna make us tougher when it's time,
Yeah, I ain't even really tripping about. I mean, look, I said this before. Let me see if I pull up the schedule. There you go. I actually welcome this. I've heard a lot Cowboys schedule, man. I welcome this because you'll be battle tested by the time you get into the offs. As long as you have health on your side, you're gonna know what kind of team you got. Trust me, once you get to that week 13, Seattle, Philly, Buffalo, Miami, Detroit, and probably a Washington team that's either A, going to be fighting for the 7th seed, or B, trying to end your season on a bad note, you're going to be fighting at the end of the season, and that's perfect, in my opinion, going into the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. I think, during that stretch, I mean, obviously we don't know for sure, but I think it's safe to say that most of those teams are going to be like playoff contenders, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you having me on, man. I'll let you
get on
through with the show, man.
All right, man. Appreciate the call. Good stuff. Shouts out to Amarillo, Texas. Yeah, look, it's a gauntlet of a schedule. But to be the man, you've got to beat the man, as they say. In fact, Tuesday, whatever the next show is, we're actually going to turn our attention a little bit to the competition. So I'm excited for that. Try to pick up a series that really wasn't a series. We did a show last year. I did a teaser. I want to see if we can gain some steam with it next week. So we'll definitely turn our attention to some of these teams on the schedule. But I welcome this schedule, man. I love it. Oh, man, before I move forward, I got to get to my guy, man. My guy, he called in a few times, but when he call in, he bring it. He keeps it a bean. Now he keeps it 100. My man, 100 grand. What's good?
I'm telling my guy, how you doing, bro?
Man, it's Friday. I'm about to do some traveling, get my summer started here soon. So I'm excited, bro.
Oh man, sound like you just rubbing it in, man. Around these parts, we getting all this rain, bro. Up towards this New York area, man, we getting all this rain, bro.
I'm coming up
Terrible.
there. I'm coming up there today. Not New York in general, but the East Coast, and it did say it was going to be raining. So yeah.
Man, it's rain all this week, bro. Sorry to bust your bubble, man.
It's cool.
But if you talking about tri-state, you coming up tri-state,
yeah.
even PA is.
Yep. Hey, look, it's bad down here too with these storms, and I'm now out the way where it's a lot of land, and these tornado warnings kind of scare me a little bit more now. When I was in the city, I was like, man, I ain't worried about no damn tornado warning. Turn the lights off, I'm going to sleep. Now I'm like, where that funnel at? We good? Yeah, a little nervous now.
That's why I can't move to them parts.
I know.
I stay with the snow, bro.
Yeah. If you get snow down here, it's a little interesting. But yeah, what's good with you, man? What's on your mind?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Listen, I heard you talk about the schedule, right?
Yep.
We talking about how hard the schedule is now, but when the season go, schedule might not be as hard.
True. It's true.
Because we looking at the teams, and we look at teams, okay, what they did last year. That don't mean they're going to be the same way this year.
That's fair.
So you can't, you got to see how it plays out. You got to see how it plays out, you know. That schedule we got now could turn into one of the easiest. And then they say, we ain't play nobody.
Yeah.
We ain't play nobody.
You know how they going to do it if that's the case. Cowboys at the hardest schedule in June. Then come October, November. Or the Cowboys only got 10 wins because they got the easiest schedule. Well, make up your damn mind.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So we do this all the time. So we can't really say how hard the schedule is until some games start to get played. And we see how these teams are. So, like the NFC East, we did great last year. We could be going back to terrible next year. It could be just the Cowboys and the Eagles winning games again. We don't know.
That's true.
We don't know.
Honestly, I hope it is. I hope it is a tough schedule. I hope these teams are competing because you want to be battle tested. I think you want to be battle tested.
I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree. You want to be battle tested. You want to be, they say iron sharp iron. So that's how you want to. Well, it's like that in the NFC East anyway. Whether we good or not, as far as the division goes, it's like that anyway. But like Dak Prescott said, how you get better in the playoffs is more cracks at it. So I feel like now when we get in, we're going to get to the playoffs, we're going to be better prepared. Because you get more cracks at it. Don't no team first time go to the playoffs and then win the Super Bowl. It don't happen like that.
Well,
tell me the team that went to the playoffs the first time and won it.
There's been some instances, where Rams, they get there, they win it, and things like that. Patriots, Belichick kind of, but again, I hear what you're saying. Usually, you definitely need to kind of build some armor.
Take steps.
When you get there, take some steps, to get there. This is true.
So that means the trajectory of the Cowboys is in a good one. It's in a good one. I like it. I like it. The way we brought everybody back, we done took some steps in the playoffs. Here's the next one. Hopefully it is to the Super Bowl and we win it, not lose it, because I'm still hurt over my Heat, man. It's not fun getting there and losing. I'm proud, but it's not fun getting there and losing. Scott, that hurts, bro.
I hear you. I hear you 100% because I would feel the same way if this happened in Dallas because no offense to your Heat, but like we're totally different, right? Where the history of this franchise, the pressure that's on it to get there, you get there and you lose, I would have that same hurt. But if I was a Heat fan, be real, honey. Y'all ain't have no NBA Finals expectations to win it. for most of the season. Y'all got to the playoffs and y'all started rolling. Right, y'all was underdogs, and you had one star and a bunch of role players, and so I feel like there's a little context that can make you feel better. But
whoa, wait a minute, whoa! I'm not gonna let you disrespect Heat culture, dog. I'm not gonna let you do that.
I'm actually praising him.
And listen,
I'm praising him.
And listen, Heat culture, but I'm saying you said role play. They're role players to everybody else, but to us, those guys can ball because of the farm system and how Pat Riley is like Will McClay.
Pat Riley's a fan.
Let's be real.
He's a beast, man. Look, he's a beast. 100 grand. Don't mistake the word role player for can't ball. There's a all right. Don't do that. Y'all got some ballers over there. But I said y'all have one star, and a ton of role players, and that's just the nature of the NBA. And so all I'm saying is you should definitely feel proud of what happened in that situation. For Dallas, you get there and you fail, which I think is probably tougher to get there, and it's really hard to fathom getting back because it hardly happens, right? Like the loser of the Super Bowl hardly goes right back the next year or close to that. So yeah, I'm with you.
I agree. It'll hurt 100 times more because we Cowboys, man. So it'll hurt 100 times more because of that. Yeah. But you got to get there. I'm not going to sit there and say, you know what, we failed. You got to get there. You know what I'm saying? We'll shut up a lot of people if we get there, but it ain't about you'll shut up everybody if you win it. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like the Eagles.
I was just about to say, we just witnessed Philly talked all that shit all season and get to the playoffs, the Super Bowl, talk all that. Then they lose. Now they in the corner trying to fight back from all of us coming at them because they lost, and rightfully so. That's what we're going to do as fans. Boy, can you imagine if Dallas got there and lost, though? Oh, my God.
Oh, man, the jokes would never stop. The jokes would never stop, and how we would be doing what they're doing now, and they would still be killing us because they were like, "Oh, you can't do that. You got there and lost. Blah blah. Dak Prescott is still this and that and the third." And they'll forget about what they were doing the year prior. Let's say we get there next year, they would be They would be like, "Man, none of that matters." You know what I'm saying? So how you shut them up is winning it.
Yeah.
Now if we win, oh man, forget. They don't want to just win.
Ooh, they don't
want to see.
The league does not want to see Cowboys Nation. Come on, man. I couldn't be
like,
on. Swagoo might get fired. Mina Khan, they might fire her too.
Put me in the guest room. I'm going to the parade. I'm telling you, that parade. Oh, forget about it.
The parade, dog. I'm not even gonna tell you what I don't even, man. Let me just keep it all bottled in because I'm getting excited. Like it's June. It's June, ain't in the playoffs yet. But yeah, fam, if we win, I'll keep it this simple. I'm probably going to lose some friends. I've got so many receipts. I've got so much. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting, dog. But anyway, hey, 100 grand. Let me keep it moving, bro.
No doubt, man. No doubt, bro. Nice talking to you, man.
Yes, sir. Always good to hear from my man. 100 grand. Vosh likes to say he going to jail, right? Probably be right there with him, especially if we hear with the parade. But they do not want Cowboys. That's the one fan base. I'm trying to think. Browns ain't winning. They don't care. Detroit, no one cares. They do not want this fan base to win a Super Bowl because it's going to be a reckoning coming on social media, in real life, everywhere. A reckoning is coming. All right, we building up. Hell no, Oscar. Skywalker show on Championship Parade Day. Y'all might get, I'm not going to say this because there might be kids watching, but y'all might get a under the influence Skywalker still at the parade from my phone, but you ain't getting no show. You might not get a show that whole damn week because I ain't going to be able to do it. But nah, man, I just can't wait. I believe it'll happen though, but I just can't wait. We got about 4 callers. We got 4 callers on the line. We'll get to those 4 callers, but let's finish up Let's finish up this mailbag segment. 100 grand got me thinking about Super Bowl parade. You know what? Let's talk about Cowboys Plug over on Instagram. He says, who deserves more PT? I think Sam Williams is the easy answer, right? We talk about him a ton. We'll continue to. But I kind of want to go a different direction. Sam Williams. Let me just say this. Sam Williams. All right, boom. Easy answer. Had the production last year with minimal snaps. Plus, he's got the upside. That should be a no-brainer. But I want to talk about a couple of other names that I think I can answer this question, but I don't know if they're going to get it, barring injury. And I'm talking about Israel McQuamu and Chauncey Golston. Like, your question is, who deserves more playing time? I think Izzy and Golston deserve it because they finished the season strong. I think they also show growth and progression, not only physically with their bodies, right? The offseason peanut butter and the mental aspect of the game, but also on the field. They showed that progression as well. But those rooms are deep, right? You're not taking nobody off the field as safety right now for Izzy or corner for that matter. Golston, we talked about Golston. He's got a hill to climb in regards to getting on the field. When now that you bring in a guy like Mozzie Smith on the inside, you got Osa already. Jonathan Hankins is here. Those three guys are going to be your top three guys. Now, he can still get rotated in as a 5 tech when they go that route and 3 tech to give somebody else a breather. But as like quality reps, something that's more than 6 or 7 snaps, I don't know. I think you might see his snaps actually decrease. So they deserve it. Israel McQuamu, Chauncey Golston absolutely deserve more time. But will they get it, barring injury? I don't know about that. Don't know about that. Especially if the Cowboys are going to be running nickel and dime 95% of the time. You're running nickel and dime 95% of the time. It's going to be tough for Chauncey Golston to see the field other than, hey, man, this guy needs a breather. Bit of breather. Shout out to Sadiq. This is the cool thing about YouTube. It tells you how long people have been members. And it says here, Sadiq has been a Pro Bowl member for 28 months. Whew. Shout out to y'all that have been supporting. And y'all know the membership thing was popping when I was, dolo. And the fact that y'all still here, appreciate it, man. Last question comes from Quincy Smith here on YouTube. Says, actually 2 from Meme and Quincy. Meme Angel and Quincy. I'm going to combine the 2 because it's kind of the same thing. Quincy says, are we done in free agency? If not, why don't we get Cook or D-Hop if we can grab both of them? And then Meme Angel follows it up very similar. Why don't the Cowboys try to build on defense a little more on offense? Why won't they sign D-Hop for at least a year? So I'm going to combine these 2. First part is Quincy's question. Are we done in free agency? I don't believe so. Talked about this before. I'll keep bringing it up. The Cowboys, since McCarthy has been here, they've signed a free agent of name. Let's just say name. But they've signed a free agent of name 3 times now, consecutive 3 seasons. 2020, Everson Griffin. 2021, Malik Hooker. And 2022 was Anthony Barr. All 3 of those guys headline camp free agent signing. So I believe that another free agent will follow. Whether it's a big name or not, I feel like they will go out and sign someone that they think can contribute in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's Robbie Gould. You know what I'm saying? That's your guy. Now to the meat and potatoes of the question that y'all really want to know about. D-Hop and Cooks. Let me start off with D-Hop. Cowboys Nation, it would be a nasty addition. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and act like I wouldn't love to have DeAndre Hopkins. But to be honest, once they traded for Brandon Cooks, which, by the way, you could argue is a better fit. Ain't saying he's a better player, but a better fit. Once they traded for Brandon Cooks, that pretty much ruled him out. In any realistic world, that ruled DeAndre Hopkins out. So I kind of turned my head to that. Like, there's just no way that's going to happen for a couple different reasons. But the main reason, he wants Odell Beckham money. Do you think the Cowboys are paying DeAndre Hopkins Odell Beckham money? Ask yourself before you get all up in arms about, How dare you not want DeAndre? Ain't about what I want to want. If this was Madden, you wouldn't even be thinking twice about this. Do you think the Cowboys are paying anywhere close to DeAndre Hopkins, Odell Beckham money to DeAndre Hopkins? No. Odell got $15 million. You're trying to extend CD Lamb. You are already paying Michael Gallup double digits in the cap or what have you. You're already paying Brandon Cooks solid money. They're going to add a fourth dude? 15 mil? Don't see it happening, right? Madden, when Steven Jones don't exist, cool, right? Bring him on here. The other thing, which is kind of more of an underlining thing, but it matters in a way, is you cannot have your top 4 wide receivers not contribute on special teams. Like, none of those dudes are sniffing the special teams field, but that's more of an underlining thing. If you get D-Hop on the team, you ain't really worried about that. But that's real life stuff that fans don't care about. We don't care about. I don't care how you deal with special teams, but those roster gymnastics, that does matter when you're having these conversations. It's why you don't see 4 guys like that on a team. You especially don't see 4 guys getting paid what the Cowboys will be paying that wide receiver room. So D-Hop in an imaginary world would be wonderful. In a realistic world, just doesn't seem realistic. Just flat out. Point blank. And then Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook makes the most sense. He actually makes more sense than DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion. But Dalvin Cook also said he wants bread. However, I don't think he's going to get that bread because the wide receiver market is different than the running back market. The running back market told you what it is. When Odell Beckham got $15 million after not playing and doesn't have an ACL anywhere in his body, and he got $15 million, yeah, DeAndre Hopkins is probably going to get close to $20 million or $15 to $20 million. And Dallas is not doing that. For 1 year, as who was it that said 1 year? Oh, there it is. Meme said for 1 year. Y'all understand that's $15 to $20 million hitting your cap. Unless they do some funny money stuff with like void years. Then you could play around with it. But Steven Jones ain't doing that. Dalvin Cook, though, that's a realistic option. Not saying it's an option that they will do, but you get to camp, figure out what's happening with your running back room, and then if you don't like what you see, pick up the phone, you give Dalvin Cook a call. But it doesn't sound like, rumor-wise, there's anything circling around the Cowboys. I've also reached out my damn self just to know, just to try to get a sense. There's nothing there at this moment when it comes to Dalvin Cook. But TBD. $15 million? Who do you think you kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton? Hold on, where my drop at? I'm so mad we ain't really get to use this drop that much. I don't even think I have it in here no more. Oh, here it is.
What's your name, man? You called us.
Classic. All right, man. Let's finish off the show on the phone lines. We had 808 Heartbreak chilling. What's good?
Hey, how you doing, brother? It's Sonny from Warren.
What's good? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I know you got a whole bunch of other callers left, so I'll just leave you a question. I'll let you go. I've been watching and stuff, all the documentaries of the past teams and past Super Bowl runs teams, and usually a lot of them have about the same consensus when it comes to taking it to the Super Bowl. Everybody has like a culture, all the people buy in and stuff, and that's all well known and stuff. But everybody always has this one thing, and they say usually there's 1 to 2 players that on every Super Bowl team or any team that makes a run, that when everything's hitting on all cylinders, there's 1 or 2 of those players that take it to the next level. And our Super Bowl run, if we do have one this year, I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl or anything. I'm just saying, who do we need that to be? And who do you think it's going to be? Whether it be Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. Because like in past examples, like for the Steelers, they said it was Troy Polamalu. With the Rams, it was Aaron Donald. You know, Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. It's all their best players, right? Yeah, it's 100% the guys you name. Dak Prescott on offense. I'm actually gonna go a different direction. I'm gonna go Stephon Gilmore defensively. I just feel like Micah's going to be Micah, right? But if Stephon Gilmore can be like that in the playoffs for you, with Micah being Micah, I think that's going to help get you to the next level too. But those will be my two guys, Dak Prescott and Stephon Gilmore.
Okay, I got you. Well, all right, brother. I just wanted to get your stance on it, man. You have a good weekend, man. God bless, brother.
Thank you, man. Good stuff. Good question. Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I didn't know if he was going to go the route of, hey, an underrated guy, kind of a under the radar, not your big names. But once you start naming Aaron Donald and Pat Mahomes and Troy, it's like, oh, well, if we talking about the best players, it got to be your best players, right? Like if you want to get over the hump or what have you, your best players got to play to the best of their abilities. And, Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, those two dudes definitely have to be that. But I think if Stephon Gilmore on that side of the ball is like that, Micah going to be Micah, right? Dan Quinn's going to be Dan Quinn, but he'll allow DQ to do all those Frankenstein type things. So kind of throw a different curveball there. Good question, though. Good question. Danny said Micah should approach a 20-sack season. I know he won a 20-sack season, but he said, I ain't focused on sacks no more. I just want to make everybody better, yada, yada, yada. We could be looking at Micah doing more rookie-ish things. Not saying he's going to play that many snaps at linebacker, but when he joke about 8, here's the thing about Micah. Like Micah really not playing. Like there's truth in that joke. Like I think he's going to be used in a more versatile role. You can hear the excitement in him, and you could hear the opposite of that last year when he wasn't being used like that. So I think we'll see Micah do a little bit more. We might see him. Defensive Player of the Year, I think, is coming in his career. Might be sooner rather than later. You could see a season where Micah gets you 14 sacks, 3 picks, right? 5 pass breakups, something along those lines, 4 forced fumbles. Defensive Player of the Year. D Schiff. Good morning, good sir.
Good morning, sir. Hey, man, I like your take about Terrence Steele and just overall, like, the importance of, like, wanting to allocate that type of money to a guy, like, as you talked about. I mean, depending on what position you play, you can be coming off of an injury and people still pay you bread, or you could have played and had a Pro Bowl season and people like, nah, I don't think I want to pay you. And in Dalvin Cook's case,
Mm-hmm.
And we're wishing, by the way, in Cook's case, in D-Hop's case, you can't automatically assume these guys just want to come play for you. They're looking out for, their last time really being able to cash in, right? Being able to come to the table and get a good contract. So I think it's important for them to, get everything they can out the free agency, and legacy and Super Bowls are fine, but, money talks. But I think what I want to ask you, man, you're talking about, again, Terrence Steele, but I want to ask you, is there something that Tyler Biadasz, is there something that he can do this year that will make you feel like I want to pay him bread next year, or do you feel like you put him more in the Connor McGovern, Connor Williams thing, like, man, appreciate you, whatever you can do for us this year, go out and get your money, but we might have to consider, that's talking into next year, and I don't want to do that to you.
I mean, that's what that's what we're talking about, right? Is the guys that are up for contracts for next year. So Tyler Biadasz is a fair name to bring up because he's a name we never discussed that is on the last year of his deal.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you got Terrence Steele to consider. Tyron is getting up there in age. You about done with him, really.
Yeah.
Which his contract situation is still interesting to me, but yeah. So with Tyler Biadasz, man, just want to hear your thoughts about it. So I'll hang up and listen to you, bro. Appreciate you.
Appreciate D Shift. It's a good one. That's a good one because me personally, y'all on the show every day. We acknowledge Tyler, but we don't really bring up that he is a free agent. I mean, we've had a conversation about if I was his agent, I'm going in there and I'm talking about the Pro Bowl. But, man, what do you do? Because we talk about Lamb, we talk about Diggs, we talk about Steele, we even talk about, the extension with Dak. What do you do with Tyler? I don't got the answer, Sway. I don't got the answer because I don't want to fake the funk. I think he did have a really good year last year. But I would be lying to y'all into y'all faces if I said there wasn't some part of me that's like, kind of want to see it again. Tyler. I kind of want to say, and the reason why I want to be phony is because a lot of people say that about Terrence, but I believe Terrence showed you in 2021 and he followed it up in 2022. So I believe he already did that in the consecutive seasons. Tyler has progressively got better. There's no doubt about it. His importance to the offense from a stability standpoint up front is real. I don't know that I'm ready to throw Lindstrom in there yet. We'll see if Fournier, what he can do. He's obviously the backup center as we speak. So, damn. That's a good question. I don't have the answer. TBD. I might need to see what happens during the season, but doesn't it feel like, at least to us, at least me, y'all could say to me, he feels like he's down the totem pole. But doesn't he feel like he's not discussed that much when it comes to contracts that are up with starters? Not just a Jordan Lewis, right, who's your fourth corner right now, but actual starters, the Diggs, the Lambs, the Terrence Steels of the world. Tyler Biadasz's contract's up. He did go to the Pro Bowl. He's shown stability. Y'all know the stat I'm talking about, where he hasn't given up a sack since his rookie season or something like that. So, man, if he don't get it by this team, he could go that Connor McGovern, Connor Williams route where he gets it somewhere else, and the Cowboys get like a 4th or 5th round compensatory pick. But we add on to it. Let's add some layers to this. You could argue, by the way, I think Terrence Steele's a better player. You could argue there's more of a contingency for Terrence Steele than there is for Tyler Biadasz. Could argue that with Willetsko, right? If Willetsko, and we talked about that tweet, do I still got it pulled up? I sure do. We talked about that tweet from our brother Vach. If Willetsko shows you something, that's your contingency to Terrence. But you know what? As I was saying that, what if Fortiak shows you something? You know what I mean? What if Fortiak shows you at center? All right, look, guard I had a rough outing. My second year, whatever. A rough outing. But center, that's my spot, which he played at Wisconsin or Nebraska. So what if Forniak showed you something? You could use the same arguments towards Tyler Biadasz. My thing is, though, shout out to our guy Reek. My thing is, I ain't trying to get rid of two of them. I don't want to move off from both of them. I want to keep one or the other, if that's the case. So, fantastic dialogue. What's good, bro? He in the building. Yeah, I had to look. Hey, Vach, we kind of used your tweet for some content today. Kind of used your tweet, but it sparked some good conversation, man. It's a good question. 337. What it is? What it do?
What's up with you?
Man, I'm doing great. How you doing on this
Can you
Friday?
hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear.
Pretty good. Yeah, like three things I wanted to touch on, but the schedule. Last year, I predicted the schedule to a T with the exception of the Jacksonville game. I did not expect that.
It's funny you brought up Jacksonville. When we went through the schedule last year, that was the game I said, hey, this is going to be a competing team. Now, I didn't think they was going to go to the playoffs. But I said that's the game. We can't just overlook that team. I think with Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence going into year two, they were going to be a team to deal with, plus all the free agency acquisitions. That same team this year might be the Lions, but it's kind of unfair to say because the Lions won on the road last year.
I'm fixing to get to that. My prediction for this year, I think Dallas will be able to pull it out with San Francisco finally, and I think they'll beat the Bills. I think they're going to split with Philly, but the teams to look out for are going to be Miami and the Lions.
Well, I mean, hell yeah, Miami. Miami is a bona fide AFC contender, I think. But yeah, the Lions are definitely going to be a team that's going to be scrapping for them playoffs. Not going to be easy at all. Hell, it wasn't easy when we played Detroit, if you remember that.
Right. And then another two things I want to touch on with receiver room and running back room. I keep seeing these things on Facebook and everything where sign this receiver, sign this running back. And Dallas is good with what they got. Talbot looked like he's fixing to do good. Plus Gallup finally being healthy, back to his old self. And then, personally, I'd like hoping Moreno Cropper actually starts showing something in the offseason, because he reminds me a lot of C.D. Lamb. But
interesting.
But as far as the running back go, everybody keeps talking about signing a running back to replace Zeke for them short yardage downs. Everybody's overlooking Lipke, because he can play like he did in college. Lipke will be able to handle them short yardage downs. Then they don't need another running back. That's kind of my opinion on the whole thing.
Yeah, Lipke is somebody that we're going to be keeping an eye on to see if he can handle that role. I don't know if they're going to use him in that manner or not, because he's very much a Kyle Juszczyk type, but he ran the ball a bunch in college, so I'm interested to see if it's something
you got to remember because McCarthy with Green Bay, he used the fullback a lot in those situations.
But John Kuhn didn't run the ball a whole lot for them in Green Bay. He was more of a blocking guy, and he caught the ball at the backfield or something. But he wasn't a 80 carry, 100 carry type dude.
No, and I'm not saying 80, 100 carry, just in short yardage, goal line downs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how many of those you get.
Be able to handle that.
You'd be surprised how many of those you get. I think Zeke alone in the goal line, red zone, got over 30-something carries. So that's 30 right there, 30 plus right there in red zone. And then we talk about the goal line stuff. You're approaching roughly 50 carries, man.
Yeah. But I still feel like Dallas is good with the running back they got. I don't think they're going to need to sign another running back like everybody keeps saying. Because Malik Davis, the few carries that he got last year, he made good on them.
So I want to go to John Kuhn to see what year might have stood out. What's an outlier year? So in 2010, he got 84 carries. So if not John Kuhn, Hunter Lipke can get 84 carries, I think he actually could be pretty successful. But other than that, you're looking at 10, 9, 18, 23, 30. So he's mostly going to get roughly 20 carries in the season. Kuhn did, I'm sorry. So he was more utilized as a blocking guy, and he caught some passes out the backfield as well. But if Hunter Lipke can get the touches in that manner, so you're talking about roughly 45 touches a season, 40 touches a season, let's say 40 touches. I think that could be something there.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's all I really wanted to touch on. I've been listening to you here the last couple of weeks, and you got some good stuff.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the support.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, take it easy.
Yep, salute. Danny doesn't believe a 20 carry guy is not making the roster. I mean, Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle, Jameez Olawale. Like, these guys make the roster, especially when you play special teams, Danny. Boy, Danny, you something else. All right, let's get back to this chat. In fact, let's get to the super chats. In case I missed some. 1 second. Just say it, man. We got a couple from the super chat. Kang Tobo Tai, what's up, man? He said, "Hope you have a good vacation, my brother." Wish it was a vacation. Not a vacation just quite yet. I just got to do some traveling. I'll be back here Monday or Tuesday. I'll be back on Tuesday. But appreciate it. And then Towboat Ty dropped another one.
Super chat.
And said, "I got bail money to put back for a Cowboys Super Bowl win. Can't wait to see this team this year. We're going to roll the NFC East. This is the attitude era for this team." I dubbed that. Yeah, it was last year when they drafted the guys they drafted. Following it up with some of the same guys. I would love for Micah to have kicked off the Stone Cold King of the Ring 96 promo, which it's in essence that promo was kind of the catalyst. Although I think the match between him and Bret Hart with the blood might have been the actual start to the Attitude Era. But nonetheless, if he could be that Stone Cold 96 King of the Ring, then everybody else follows, we on to something here. Somebody called him a new Moose, Bernie. Somebody called in the other day and said that, and I had to, explain to him, he's more used check than Moose, in my opinion. More used check than Moose. Moose was called him Moose for a reason. Call him Moose for a reason. The Guru says if he was a physical blocker, talking about Hunter, I'd be on board with keeping him, but saving a roster spot for a rushing fullback. Well, I think the idea is for him to also be able to block, though, the Guru. Like I think I kind of agree here. If he's not going to be a traditional blocker as well, which Juszczyk is, it'll be tough because then I can just use my tight end, and my tight end is more versatile in the sense of I could do more things with him, and he's bigger. But I think you're hoping that Hunter Lipke can do the blocking stuff. If needs to, can rush, catch the ball at the backfield. We know he can do that, and play special teams, kind of that versatile guy. If he is deficient in the blocking department, that's tough, man. That is going to be tough because I actually want him because he can do all of those things at a decent level. If that's the case. If not, then I'll just use a tight end. All right. Let me just say that I don't smoke cigarettes. Shaq. No, sir. D Shift said I need the secondary to be DX. And that's kind of what we was talking about in the Attitude Era, right? We actually gave a couple, granted, I don't believe this was Mark Henry in the Attitude Era. But this was more at the PG era. Kind of PG, but ruthless aggression, kind of. But we were talking about the DX, and we were talking about some of the guys in 2022 draft class, and then now 2023 can add on to that or whatever. But yeah, I do think there is a group of these young guys. Sam Williams is part of that, having that attitude. Nah, I'm gonna leave the other guy out. But Sam Williams is a part of that attitude. The guy that went Big John, Big Country, the guy that Ridgeway was supposed to be a part of that attitude. He's not here no more, but that's fine. Mozzie Smith is the Mark Henry, I think, of this team, right? So they definitely have grabbed guys. We could talk about Deuce Vaughn being Rey Mysterio.
It ain't no
Deuce Vaughn being Rey Mysterio. It's you could definitely equate that. And maybe on the Twitch stream we'll do a Cowboys too. I've seen my guys. I think it was KD. KD would do a like Marvel type of to the Cowboys, or Game of Thrones to the Cowboys. Maybe we'll do WWE to the Cowboys. Sound fun to me. We don't wipe them 304s. I was yesterday, and we good. Perfect. D-line, the Nation of Domination. See now, Splendor 5. Let me put my business out here, Splendor 5. Let me put my business out here. Yeah, rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. Who the godfather of the team? Well, we ain't got no Zion Williams on the team, so we cool with that. But Trayvon Diggs did have some issues going on with him last year. Trayvon did. I'm gonna do this on a different thing. This is fun. I actually like this. We're gonna compare Attitude Era. That's the key one. Attitude Era player or Attitude Era wrestlers to Cowboys players, and I'm gonna think hard and good about this because these two things I'm passionate about, man. If you ain't watched the Attitude Era, then you ain't gonna get it. So that's why I was like, we'll do this on like Twitch or something. I don't know. That's why I said Rey Mysterio's Deuce. Mozzie's definitely Mark Henry. For sure. And honestly, he has to be the thing is though, he has to be Mark Henry in Nation of Domination. He's not Mark Henry in the PG/ruthless aggression. You know what I mean? Anyway, man, we getting way into the weeds. It's Friday. We on our way out. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you enjoyed today's show. Sexual chocolate. Nah, he ain't that either. The bit he was doing with old lady was kind of crazy back then. But if you want to be a part of the Bomb Squad and participate in these crazy chats that we do here, you got to be a subscriber to the channel. It's free, it's easy, and it's the best way to support what we do here, man. Straight up. No Mo show today. He'll be back Sunday. And I know I said I'd have the schedule for y'all, but I haven't talked to Zach. I shot him the ideas, but we're going to probably reconvene sometime today and see what's good. Until then, as we stand right now, Cowboys Nation, I'll be back Tuesday. Out of here Monday due to travel, but I'll be back here Tuesday unless something else changes. And again, I said we're going to start looking into just a little bit into the schedule, and I got a couple ideas of how I want to do this, and we'll probably pick that up on Tuesday, isn't it? Now, Micah Austin, but I feel you on the Rock thing. Feel you on that. Anyway, man, let's get up out of here and press this button so y'all can go about y'all days and y'all weekends, and make sure y'all have a safe and fun one for your boy. Yeah, Mae Young. That Mae Young John was crazy. Like, I mean, there was a lot of crazy. Like, Vince is crazy. Both Vinces, Vince Russo and Vince McMahon. That was crazy. I really wasn't around for the JBL Mexican border, United States border thing, but I saw the video of that. Yo. What is wrong with Vince McMahon? All right, we out of here. Love y'all. Peace. I like CD as The Rock. I like that. I'm going to think about this. Stop it. Stop it, D-Ship. You know what? Dak as The Rock might be going too. Might be going too.